Hi everybody, how are you doing today? It is, as I scratch my eye, it's Wednesday. Back to my Wednesday videos. It's Wednesday, January 16th, and I thought I turned off the zoom. Why is it zooming? Let's fix that. Turn off the autofocus. There we go. Shouldn't have any more zoom now. Okay. It's Wednesday, January 16th, 2019. Hope you're all doing well. I am certainly doing well. It is the middle of January. You can definitely feel it here in New Jersey as it is dreary and gray and dark and January. I like dreary and dark and gray, and yes, we have had a lot of sun though. I do have to say that. And the temperatures have been fluctuating pretty rapidly between colds and hot, so it's not been too crazy. This weekend's going to be a little crazy though with these storms coming through. We're not going to get nearly as much snow, I think, as a lot of the other parts of the Northeast is getting. We're going to mainly get rain. Kind of disappointing because if it's going to be cold, I'd rather have snow, but you know, it is what it is. I have been busy. We have a lot to talk about today. It's a little bit later for my filming than I normally do. I've been on the phone and getting some stuff ready to go for the video because I had to get some prep work done. So yeah, it's now like 5:30 at night. It is now dark again. So yes, I drink coffee at night. Okay, let's get right into it. This weekend, I took down the Christmas tree. I heard something. Where's it at? Oh, it's way over there. I'll deal with it later. Okay, that was my phone. Anyways, this weekend I took down my Christmas tree. My house is kind of naked. I still need to vacuum. But Sunday I did take down the Christmas tree. It took me like a half hour. I don't know why I don't do it like quicker. But I think it was just time that I was ready to take it down. So I took down the Christmas tree. I did leave a couple other decorations that are more wintry and not necessarily Christmas up. So that is still up and going. So but I'm ready for spring. I think my plants are ready for spring too. But luckily they're doing well. Maybe I'll show you in the next video some of my plants that are doing well and plant update. Because my bonsai is finally starting to look a little better. But anyways, enough about that. Other than that, all I've been doing is working and sleeping and January, because that's what you do in January is, you know, that whole winter blahness. So, yeah. Let's get right into the stitching. The first thing I worked on is my mushroom sampler that I pulled out last week. So here is what it will look like when it is complete. If you recall, I was working on this mushroom motif down here, and I have this entire part of the border done. I have this in my Made by Mama Joan Ginger Gerald alternate reality bag. And you're going to have to use a bit of imagination because I already moved the Q-snap because I'm ready to move on to the next motif. I have a motif finish. So here is the motif. So it's just a big cutoff, but the motif is done. I went ahead and did all of the words in between the two motifs, and I'm ready to go ahead and start the next big grayish white cream color mushroom set right here. Once I got going on this, because remember there was a big leaf over here and that's all I did before the last video, And other than that, that's all I did. And this took me 2 days. I started stitching the mushrooms on Saturday, and I was done with everything Sunday. So these are surprisingly a very quick stitch because they're not very big. It's just there is a bit of confetti with the detail, but they turn out wonderfully. I mean, look at that detail. So loving this mushroom sampler. I will continue working on that probably this week. Maybe this week. I don't know. I'm going to go with the flow and see what I want to stitch on. Then I went ahead and decided to pull out on Monday. I think it was Monday. Maybe it was Sunday. Sunday or Monday. I decided to pull out my hedgehogs. Work on that a little bit. This is my Realist Kit. Again, I have this in a Made by Mama Joan bag. This is my American architecture monuments bag, I guess. I don't know. And so I had to move, because I had everything on the one side done, I had to move the Q snap so I could finish out the rest of the pattern. And so there is what I did. I went ahead and moved the Q snap. This is all I have left to do, is right over here on this side. And these like 20 stitches of this dark brown is all I did. And then I just kept thinking about my knitting, so I decided to go back to knitting. But I did stitch on hedgehogs a little bit, and that's my progress. So I will be working on him when I get back to stitching again. This is what's currently on my stand. So I'm hoping to get a decent amount of progress on, because this goes very fast when I focus. So, and I do have a 3-day weekend coming up. So this might be close to a finish by the next time we have a video. I don't know. We'll see. It depends upon what I'm drawn to for stitching this week. So my hedgehogs is part 2. Then the only other stitching I have is a new start. Tuesday, I decided to do a new start. So I have been wanting to, I bought this at Stitchville when I was in Minnesota in October. This is Cottage Garden Samplings Winter's Wisdom. There it is, Winter's Wisdom. And I figured, why am I not stitching this when it's winter? Of course, I will continue stitching it until it's done, even if it's not winter. It'll probably be done before winter's over. Now, here's why. I do not plan on stitching the whole thing. Can you guess why? I started in this top corner. And of course I'm going to do the branches, the pine cones, and the birds, because that's what initially drew me to the pattern. And I'm going to do the word. So, but I'm not going to do the trees or this little pine cone motif, and I'm definitely not going to do the house in the snow because I just don't like that. So I'm probably going to pull the word wisdom up here to where the trees are and write that across here. If I can, I will fit the crown and the key in somewhere. If not, then I won't. But at least I will. I absolutely love the word wisdom. I love that. I love the W. Plus it's black and gold. And I love the branch with the birds and the pine cones. That's what drew me to this pattern. So if that's all I stitched, then that's all I stitched, and I'm perfectly happy with that. If I can figure out a way to do the key and the crown, then I will play around with that, but I'm going to definitely do the word and the branch first. So without further ado, here is my progress. You'll just have to ignore my, and I don't even have a needle minder on here right now. So here is the progress. I am doing this on 56 count. Where'd my little tag go? There it is. 56 count Kingston linen in pale drapple by my good friend XJU Designs. So it's getting, there it is. That's a better color. It's getting a little bit washed out. It's more of a browny color. Again, remember, I'm not good with colors. But that's definitely getting washed out. So, but you can see there's one of the little palm fronds on the tree, and this is the beginning of the branch. It'll go across here, and yeah. So, and I love 56 count. It's pretty much like 46 count, just a little bit smaller, and I do not have a problem seeing it. And yes, everyone, I'm stitching it 56 count without magnification. So, yeah. There we go. So yeah, there is, I need to put a needle minder on there. My progress of my new start. Really enjoying that. So I worked on that for a couple hours. And that's all of my stitching. Then I did some knitting. And you all know I did some knitting if you watched my craft with me video. So, bending over a lot. Thank you all for, if you watched my craft with me video and you commented, I appreciate all of your support in my changes to the craft with me video. It was kind of nice, and I got lots of great feedback, overwhelmingly great feedback in the fact that I did some knitting in my video instead of stitching. So that was a lot of fun. Did I? No. Okay. Bit of a kerfluffle here, so just bear with me a moment. Just making sure everything is fine and dandy. I think we are good. Is that good? Yeah. So in my Stitch With Me video, I went ahead and worked on my sweater. And here is the back panel that I'm working on. So we're getting close to a completion of the back panel. Once that's done, I will be able to turn it over and then work on the front panel. So going well there. I haven't been focusing too heavily on this. I've been working more on my sock than on my sweater, but that will come. And my only other knitting that I did, what's going on here? That's what, okay, is I started a new sock. I cast on my second sock in this yarn, and I cast this on Thursday. Thursday or Friday. I think I did Friday. Friday I cast this on. And so I cast this on Friday, and then I know I knitted on this on Sunday during the football game. And I am almost done. So I'm finishing up the last few rows of the foot, and then I just have to do the toe, and I'll be complete. So this will definitely be complete before the next video, and I will have another set of socks in my completion queue, list, pile, whatever you want to call. So this is, again, and I actually got the paper this time. This is Knit Pick Stroll in Tiger Eye. So once that's done, I already have, of course, my next sock yarn ready to go for another pair of socks, because I'm really enjoying the socks right now. And so the next pair of socks is going to be Knit Picks Hawthorne in Elliot. And that's what this looks like. There we go. So once the Tiger Eye sock is done, I will go ahead and probably cast on a pair of socks in the Stroll, or in the Elliot. The Elliot. Okay. The final thing I have to talk to you today is a shop update. I know many of you have anxiously been awaiting and anticipating part 3 of Stories of the North pattern that I have been working on, and it is now available in my Etsy store. So to refresh all of those who may be new to my channel and new to my Etsy store, you can find my Etsy store on Etsy, Ginger Gerald Designs, all one word, Ginger Gerald Designs. Each word is capitalized, capital G, Ginger, capital G, Gerald, capital D, Designs. There will be links below in the drop-down box. All 3 of the Stories of the North patterns are available in my Etsy store. There will be a total of 5, 2 more to come in the spring. No set specific dates as far as when I will release those, but know that they are in the works and will be coming out soon. So the first 2 have already been released. The first one was in conjunction with Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts and Evertote for her spring, or for her autumn, fall, summer, whatever collection bag that was that she had offered. You can now purchase it in my Etsy store. If you were not able to get that collection, it is the Stories of the North Part 1, which is the Blue Heron along with the Wild Blueberries. So each pattern comes with it calls for 2 shades of DMC. They are complementary, similar shades. So this is 2 shades of blue. Part 2 then is 2 shades of more earthy tones. So it's a gold and a brown. And this is more of like a fall theme. So it has the groundhog and the squirrel eating some fruit, along with the cattails and the maple leaves and acorns. So you can find that. This is part 2 also available on the Etsy store. So, and as you can see in the series, it's going to be a blue pattern, then it will be a brown pattern, and the entire series will only use these 4 shades. So you can find the part 1, part 3, and part 5 will use the blue, part 2 and 4 will use the gold and the brown. And now part 3 is under the water. So this is part 3 of the series, Stories of the North. It is 2 turtles, obviously a large and a small turtle, or a parent and child, whatever you want to say. This was actually inspired by the lake that I have outside of my house here. If you've watched my Birthday Palooza and other videos, you've seen me walking around my lake, and we have turtles, box turtles in the lake. And so, and last summer we had many small young turtles in the pond, and I thought this was a great, it made me think of the outdoors, and a great way to incorporate turtles into the series. So we have the water above, we have some seaweed, and of course, anytime you're in the water, underwater, you always see those little sparkly dust particles, or you know, reflections of light in the water, and that's what these represent. So we have Stories of the North Part 3. Keep in mind, and this is just a thing to remember, I do highly recommend for these patterns, you do not have to, it is possible to stitch these on Aida, but I do recommend that you stitch this on even weave or linen, only because I do, the pattern calls on, all 5 of the patterns will call for both large stitches and small stitches, so 2 sizes of stitches. So this is, the majority of the stitches on the pattern are 2/2. And these small snowflake type particles are stitched 1/1. So it's just it's a neat way to incorporate either a technique that you have never tried before, or something you might have been scared to try, but either a learning opportunity or just, you know, another technique into the pattern. So all 3 of the patterns have stitches that are 2/2 and 1/1. In part 1, the blueberries are the 1/1. Everything else is 2/2. In part 2, everything is 2/2 except for the maple leaves and the acorns. The maple leaves and the acorns are 1/1. And it just gives that neat little, it gives it a little bit of dimension and size difference that makes it just a little bit more detailed. So there we go. So here is together all 3 parts 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if I can, there we go, parts 1, 2, and 3. And thanks to my friend Mindy from Minty Stitcher, Mindy Briggs, she is the one that completed, made these into flat folds for me. So I'm very appreciative of that. I think they look great, and they sit nicely on my table. So again, all 3 can be found along with all of my other designs in my Etsy store, Ginger Gerald Designs. Links will be below. I hope you go check them out. Thank you all for your patience in the patterns coming out. I wanted to wait until after the holidays to release part 3, just because I know there's been a lot of people busy out in the holidays and worrying about other shopping and gifts and all that kind of stuff. So there we go. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will see you again this weekend for a Craft With Me video. I hope you tune in for that. And until then, don't forget to always be creative.